Our chief guest is also here, Eric James. So so I'd like to welcome all of you, and we will start off with a prayer by Niranjan. Niranjan, over to you. Our chief guest is also here, Eric James. So so I'd like to welcome all of you. Niranjan, you're the... Niranjan, your mic is muted. Okay, I'll lead the prayer. Thank you, Father, for having given us the opportunity to connect this day to this on this bright and wonderful morning. We thank you for all the gifts that you have given us. Be with us as the day lengthens. Help us in all our endeavors, and be with us throughout the program. In the precious name of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen. We have the address by our principal, Dr. Sabuke Thomas. Sir, over to you.
Yeah, sorry, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Yeah, sorry, I got held up. Thank you, because yeah, because these exams are going on, and this last, okay. Good morning, dear chief guest of the day, Eric James Steere. Here, he is very much on time, and here people are slowly coming in, and I apologize for all the inconvenience. Yeah, and your head of the department, Premanand Edward, and our very well respected father, Director Sunlam Anthony, father is here, and then all the other participants. Yeah, it's a really a happy occasion for me, because today I came to know English Language Day falls on 23rd of April, and that is a birthday and the D-Day of great William Shakespeare. And it's a program organized by the annual Global Observance of UN English Language Day. That's what the various websites say about the program, because all these are new information for me. Why I'm sharing might be new information for the so many participants also, not for Eric James here or for Premanand or all of this. And I could notice that it is a program by the UN to respect and create awareness and history, to understand the history, culture, achievements associated with the 6 world languages, and out of which April 23rd is set for English. And then the other major 5 languages selected by the UN is French, Spanish, Chinese, Russian, and Arabic. And physically, people will be asking why Hindi is not there, because it's an international forum, and we all must understand that, because English and French and Chinese, they are far ahead as in the popular book. They are most spoken languages like that. These are reasons. Anyway, these all are, and this day celebration means it involves activities like you see in your program, and my special congratulations to Dr. Premanand for reminding it and making it on 30th, and the quiz activity, and that is the way it should be celebrated. Fun, love, English related programs and all. So it's really a wonderful opportunity. And then we have a great resource person, Mr. Eric James, and from Fujairah University, career advance and all, and definitely he is his field, and definitely he has a lot to offer for all the participants. Thank you for once again. Yeah, so this with a few words now. Lots of congratulations, English department, and for Mr. Eric James for accepting this invitation and to be here on 9-10 and all. I know it's a difficult process, because now you have to readjust everything for, especially for a speaker to come over and speak. And thanks a lot. Thank you very much. So kindly start the program, please.
Thank you, Father, for your thank you, Principal, for your words. And may I request Father Sunil M. Antony, Director of our Self-Financing, to say a few words.
Okay, I'm audible, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. Respected guest speaker of the day, Eric J. Steere, Principal Dr. Sabu K. Thomas, Head of the Department of Language and Literature, Dr. Premanand Edward, members of faculty and delegates of this webinar, and dear students. Good morning to you all. And here, Department of Language and Literature of St. Joseph's College, Devagiri, has come up with yet another creative intervention to celebrate the English Language Day. As Principal just mentioned, it is usually celebrated on 23rd April, which is said to be the birth date and death date both of William Shakespeare. This celebration, this webinar actually kickstarts with this celebration actually kickstarts with this webinar and is followed by different or series of other programs like quiz and some other programs, and also this is there is a famous quote by Geoffrey Williams regarding the language learning and all. You can never understand one language until you understand at least two. And language is said to be the roadmap of culture. The purpose of this UN's language days is to celebrate multilingualism and cultural diversity. And thus it becomes more befitting to the occasion that we have Eric James, who is from a different culture, to speak to us today and lead the session. Dear Eric, St. Joseph's College, Devagiri is fortunate to have you with us today, and we are eager to listen to you the coming session. Let me take this opportunity to appreciate the department, the great effort and creative initiative from the Department of Language and Literature under the leadership of Dr. Premanand, and wishing you, all the participants, a fruitful and enjoyable time ahead. I remain. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Father, for your words of inspiration. We move on to the introduction of the guest speaker. Just prior to that, I'd like to give you a little bit of statistics. The statistics is that we have crossed 300 registrations. We are now at 304 registrations. I believe that as the time passes, we will be having a few more. So thanks to our director for encouraging us to go on with the next platform level, or Zoom has 100 as its minimum capacity, and for the next level 500 slab. When we requested Father, immediately he sanctioned that, and because of that, we could accommodate more people into our webinar. So thanks, Father, for that. And also, please read a word to of St. Joseph's College, Devagiri. It is one of the top ranking institutes, number 60 in NIRF, and we have an A++ with 3.76 CGPA in India. So with no we go ahead with the next program, the introduction of this guest speaker by Malavika M, second BA Functional English. Over to you, Malavika.
Good morning to one and all. Eric J. Steere is the College and Career Advisor for Diyar International Private School in Fujairah, UAE, and also serves as editor and co-member of the UAE Careers Community working to build strong career practices in schools and communities across the country. With previous experience managing partnerships and teaching at the college level in the United States and India, Mr. Steere has been guiding students to best fit career and college opportunities since 2016. He holds degrees in international relations from the University of St. Andrews and Durham University and is completing his certificate in college counseling from UCLA Extension. Originally from New Jersey, Mr. Steere has worked and studied internationally for over 12 years, residing now in UAE with his wife and children. His major publications, articles. From the UAE Careers Community, published in July 2020, June Public Meetings, newly founder Khalid Diab speaks with the UAE Careers Community. Mind the Gap with Career Counseling in Schools. From Time Out Budapest, published in November 2010, Chopin Marathon. Poems. From Redfest, Rostaf Komeo, Qatar Airways Flight 536 to Calicut, The TikTok Diner, White Nights of Muharram, and Rush Hour. From Eclectica, Looking Out on the Kerala Floods, 2018, Danka. From The Aesthetic Apostle, Adam at the White Heat. From the Stillwater Review, Jubel Tukkal and Gender Studies #3. From the Paper Boat in 2017, The Best Mornings. And from RW, Dear Landlord. And his essays include from pentales.com, Notes from Budapest. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of the Department of Language and Literature, St. Joseph's College, Devagiri.
Thank you, Malavika.
Thanks.
Prior to the address by our chief guest, we have a small poll for you. The poll is just should be on your screens. The question is very simple. Did you experience any difficulty in entering or accessing the webinar? Since most of you have your names on your phone, there's no problem. But otherwise, because there are so many problems with respect to apps and Zoom is generally not very preferred by people. But we have put geo-fencing all over, and we have also restricted certain countries from entering in. So if we would like you to please tell us whether you experienced any difficulty in entering or accessing the webinar today. Eric, we have 5 minutes. I hope you'll pardon us for this.
Can I go ahead, or should I wait, Dr. Premanand?
Just for 1 minute. The polls are just going to end.
Okay, that's fine.
We've got 68 people out of 104. So please use the polls. The polls should be active on your screen, and you can give me the. You can just tap no, yes, or slight. These are the only options that are on your screen. Eric, do you have a presentation you want me to share screen or something?
At one point, if I can share the screen, that would be great. Otherwise, I can do without it. We're good. We're good to go, Dr. Premanand.
I think you can share if you'd like to try that. I'll just
that's great. It won't be for the whole talk. So it's just a couple points I want to share. A couple pictures so you guys can see something other than my face coming in your chat there. So.
Would you like to test it out?
No, that's okay.
Okay, fine. I'll end the polls. Thank you for the polls. And the results are 88% of you did not experience any difficulty. And that's good news for us. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Malavika. Thank you so much for such a gracious introduction, and to Dr. Premanand, to Principal, to Father Sunil. Thank you so much for having me. Really excited to participate in this program. And I just want to say this program itself is such a testament to the spirit of the UN initiative that's behind English Language Day, connecting people, connecting cultures, and really celebrating all of the things that we can in a time right now that I know all around the world people are struggling with this pandemic, and events like this are never more important. I want to appreciate all of the work that went into to arranging this, and also to the work that St. Joseph's does in promoting English language and understanding people across cultures. I had the good chance to go through some of the college websites, some of the college magazines. Professor Amini puts together an amazing magazine from students using English literature and student participation in various fields. And this is such a credit to what looks to be an amazing program. So I'm honored to be here today, and I just want to thank everybody for giving me an opportunity to address you, and hopefully we'll have it looks like we have a really good lineup of events today, and I'm really looking forward to participating. One of the things that strikes me about language is and the celebration of language on a day like today is it's really an opportunity for us to understand each other, understand ourselves, and look to what that understanding can build for us as humans in this world, and also professionally and educationally through our lives. And that's something that I think the English language is and all languages, but especially English, is especially poised to help with. So just to give a little background, how do I know this? I'm a college and career counselor, as Malavika pointed out in my introduction, and I think a lot of people don't know what this means. What's a college counselor? My wife is from Calicut, and she said, I didn't know people could do this. Well, I didn't know this was a job. To me, I understood jobs. You could be an engineer, you can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be a business person. And I think that is often the case, that we think that these are the primary directions we can go in. But the world, as we understand it, is infinitely more vast than these options. And I think that our funneling of young people into just these very few professions is part of the problem. So I am going to share my screen for a moment just to illustrate my point here. So just bear with me a moment as I share my screen. So can you see my screen right now? Give a thumbs up if you can see my screen.
It's visible, Eric.
Okay, so I wanna solicit a question to my audience here. Anybody, feel free to unmute your microphone and tell me how much you think this jet costs.
Your mics can be unmuted, or you can put it in the chat box.
Or in the chat box is great. But you can't do the research. You have to just tell me off the top of your head. No, you could put it in dollars, in rupees, in dirhams, in whatever currency you want. In honor of Shakespeare, we could do shillings today. So whatever you guys want. So do I see any? I'm not sure if I can see anything in the chat here. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, and you'll have to forgive me if I don't get the number in crores right. But all right, let me just, sorry. So that's a Boeing 747 that you had on your screen there, and that costs about $250 million. Okay, that's the cost of that plane. You're wondering why I'm asking this in a talk about English language. Well, the reason I'm asking this is I have a follow-up question. What would you say if I put that jet in the air without a navigation system? What would you say to Boeing if they designed this whole jet, it cost $250 million, and you put it in the air without a navigation system? You would say they were crazy, right? And it is crazy. That is it's a ludicrous proposition that you would spend so much money on something and send it into the air without an ability to know where it's going or how it's going to get there. But effectively, that is what we do with students. That's what we do with people. We invest, and you guys, the young people in this class, are infinitely more valuable than a Boeing jet. Your parents have poured love into you. Your teachers have poured knowledge into you over years and years and years. And what you are today is the result of so many people's combined efforts, combined intentions. A lot of love, a lot of care, a lot of devotion has gone into creating what you are today and the gift of life which comes from God. I mean, this is like a lot more valuable than a Boeing 747. But effectively, you guys go through school and we send you out into the world. You take your exams and you become doctors, lawyers, without sometimes even taking a pause to understand yourself, without taking pause to understand this world, and without taking a pause to understand, is this the future for me? Now, the reason I mention this today is because I believe, and I think a really compelling case can be made, that what we do and what we learn in English language gives us really valuable insights into ourselves, into this world around us, and into our futures. I want to start by saying something that philosopher Jacques Derrida says. Everything is language. Our thoughts are structured like language. When you have your inner voice, you're speaking to yourself. You're probably talking to yourself in Malayalam, right? You hear yourself, Nyan Kadikugyan or Nyan Nadikugyan. I'm going for a walk. Our thoughts are structured like language. We actually think in language. So when we learn another language like English, or when we start to understand different languages, we have multiplied the ways that we can understand ourselves. And it gives us an insight into the way other people think as well. You're not only, when you learn a language like English, multiplying the number of people that you can speak with, but you're also multiplying the ways that you can understand each other. And different languages have different abilities to express and understand different feelings, different emotions, and different cultures and realities around the world. And my point here is, perhaps when we are thinking about ourselves and the world, we look at the world and we are reading news about COVID, and there's a lot to get us depressed. But really, the world is a lot more multifaceted than this. It's more intricate and open. And when we read the world like a work of literature, we understand the human dimensions behind so many of the things that politicians say, that business people say, that anybody says. It's a way to get a more multifaceted understanding of the world around us. So one of my family members in Kerala, Raghuappan, says, if you fly to the moon, you will hear Malayalam there. And it's true. Malayalam is spoken all over the world. I've heard it in New York. I've heard it here in UAE. I've heard it in Malaysia, and of course I hear it around India. And all the Indian languages are spoken widely. Just to give a context to this, there's 40 million Malayalam speakers around the world, which is a lot. And the Indian languages are spoken by billions of people worldwide. So your ability to speak these languages really enables you to connect with people around the world. But to put into context, 40 million people, the number of Malayalam speakers around the world, is the exact same as just the one state among 50 states in the United States, California alone. So there's 40 million people in California. Now they all speak English and some Spanish as well. But over 1 billion people every day use English in their daily lives. So learning English and devoting time and energy into understanding English is really multiplying the number of people that you can speak with. There are 1.35 billion speakers of English in the world, and English is not just the language that you can connect with these people, but it's the language of international business. It's the language of social media. It's the language of diplomacy. When you walk into the UN in New York City, in the United Nations, you're addressed and welcomed in English. It's the language of multinational corporations. So those of you who are studying and look to get a job in Bangalore or further afield, even if you are looking to go internationally, the language of international business is English. If you want to work in a hospital internationally, oftentimes you will take an occupational English test. The top universities in the world, many of the top 10, 7 of the top 10 universities in the world, their first language is English. Media, social media, Facebook, right? Everything, the primary language of all of these is English. So when we are thinking about, dedicating ourselves to understanding ourselves in the wide world, dedicating time and energy to the study of English really makes sense. Language studies give an insight into our human condition. It goes deep into what Father Sunil had opened with, in the sense that it promotes an understanding across cultures and across people. Looking at the poetry and other pieces in the Tribe magazine put out by St. Joseph's College, it's clear that this study of English and these forays into English literary creations by students is helping them understand and empathize with people from all different backgrounds. I saw stories there about people understanding different gender norms, about understanding the plight of people under the pandemic. These ways that we understand each other could never be more valuable. So learning English is, in my book, more valuable, more important than learning technical skills, technical studies. And just to illustrate my point, I want to share with you something. I will share my screen again. Just a moment.
ഇയാളുടെ സ്ക്രീൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ തന്നെ TV സ്ക്രീനാണ്.
Excuse me? So, I don't know if you can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So, we know English is valuable for understanding ourselves. We know it's a skill that's looked at by employers, by universities, and we know that it will help us connect with people around the world. But another thing that is not always appreciated is how important these communication skills are in the workplace. Now, what I'm showing here is a graph of the most comprehensive survey of large employers ever conducted. In 2019, QS Skills surveyed hundreds of employers around the world to determine what were the skills they valued most and what were the skills that were demonstrated by first-year job applicants. Now, as I think of the group of young people in this classroom, after you'll be graduating St. Joseph's, you may be looking for your first job or making that step into your career. And I want to congratulate you for choosing a degree and a program that's really going to help you develop the skills that employers are looking for. Now, just take a look here. The number in the light blue is the percentage of employers who value these different skills. And you see that the skills that are valued are problem solving, teamwork, communication skills. And these are also skills that a large number of young people do not have. And these are exactly the kind of skills that are promoted by language studies and communication studies. Because when you're studying language, this is not just a technical exercise where you're learning formulas or technical skills that you apply on a computer, but these are very key interpersonal skills. What employers are looking for and what will make ultimately people successful as they enter the world beyond St. Joseph's, beyond their own colleges, and they go off to their first career, are those very personal skills. I give an example. If you have two candidates for a job, and you're both equally skilled, even if one individual is more skilled, if the other person has better communication skills, who is going to do the better job in the job interview? Who's going to make a more compelling case for themselves and get the job? Now, I don't want to reduce English skills to the importance of English skills to just getting a job, or having professional opportunities. But that is a key function of this. But ultimately, English language is not just about getting skills for your career. It's really about, again, understanding ourselves, how to be a better human, how to be a better you, and understanding your place in the world. This is something that when you're reading the works of Shakespeare or any of the really wonderful English literary authors, just as there are great authors in all languages, you're understanding what some of the great minds and great people who have dedicated their lives to understanding of humanity. You're able to understand that, and really, there's no more vital work that we can do now to be able to build a more tolerant and more compassionate and more understanding world. So I will leave you with this, just to thank St. Joseph's College for hosting this program, for giving students and young people across India and across the world an opportunity to participate in programs today that will help them connect with each other, that will help them understand themselves and understand English better. Ultimately, these efforts are going to lead you to being better people, and also to better opportunities for you. So thank you everyone for attending today, and thank you to my hosts at St. Joseph's College. I look forward to participating in the programs today. Thank you. And I will open up if anybody wants to ask any questions.
Thank you, thank you, Eric. And now the floor is open for discussions. Your webinar experience is also put up. Please post that also. Open for questions. I'll open the discussion with Eric. Do you think that English will still continue to be the language of choice?
Dr. Premanand, that's a really good question. There's certainly a bit of inertia when you talk about changing the language of choice, right? If you look at when we talk about the language of choice, we're talking probably about international business in the media. And we look at international business, and where are the top 10 companies, the biggest companies in the world located? The Amazons, the big tech companies, the IBMs, the Apples. They're in California, they're in America, they're in the UK. So for the time being, that there is, just like there is in physics, there's a great deal of inertia. English now China, of course, is rising in geopolitical prominence around the world, extending its influence in many ways. That makes Chinese Mandarin also important. But but it will take, just like in physics, a long time for English to it would take many instances and a long time for English to diminish in relevance or importance in learning it. And the same said, what Father Sunil hinted at in his introduction, is learning any other language, like so many of my Indian friends and colleagues. It's amazing to me how many languages that you grow up speaking and the way that you can so seamlessly transition from language. This is an intelligence. It's beyond the language itself, beyond how important English is or Chinese Mandarin. Just the very fact of having another language is good for your brain. It's good for you to be able to understand others, and it will serve you in life. So it's a really noble exercise to apply yourself to. Thanks for the question, Dr. Premanand.
So the floor is open. You can unmute yourself and please ask questions. We'll have about 5 to 10 minutes for that. Meanwhile, we have 2 other programs. The second program is at 11 o'clock. It's for the quiz. It's only for those who have registered, because the registrations have far exceeded our platform. There's one good thing about the Indian audience, Eric. Questions generally.
Oh, I would love to hear some questions, and one of the challenges with these asynchronous events and with such a large group is I would love to have more interactive, a more interactive session. All of us really look forward to the day when we can be conducting these sessions in person, and I just pray that God willing that everything returns to a sense of normalcy soon. A question reached me via the chat. Thank you, Anjali, for the question. Why is English still not the most spoken language in the world? Demographics. So now when I gave that number, 1.35 billion people speak English in the world. A very small number of that are native English speakers. Why do all these other people speak English? For all the reasons that we talked about in this session, because it's the language of choice for international business and media. So why is English still not the most spoken language of the world? Look at El Mundo Hispanica, the world of Spanish speakers. It extends from South America to Spain to the Philippines. That language is so widely spoken. Look at China. You have such a huge population and diaspora all around the world. And then look at the Indian language, like Dr. Premanand said, Hindi. Now I think it's high time for Hindi to be recognized as one of the UN languages, given just the number of people speaking it, and also their spread and influence around the world. So thanks for the question, Anjali.
I think Mohana has a question. Mohana, you're on.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Eric. Now, can we consider English as the prerogative of the native English speakers, considering the fact that it has been subject to so much of flux in recent times?
I'm sorry. Mohana. I didn't catch the question. Could you say that again or rephrase it?
All right. Can we consider English? Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Can we consider English as the prerogative of the native English speakers, considering the fact that it has been subject to so much of flux in recent times?
So you're saying the language has been subject to change? Yeah. What kind of change? I'm curious. I guess language is always evolving, right? We are always changing in the way that we communicate. The way teenagers communicate is very different from the older generation, right? Especially on social media, new words, new expressions are made to be used. And I think any language has to be able to accommodate these things, because ultimately language is not some static thing that, okay, these are the words that we use and no other words shall be used. The way we communicate goes well beyond that. If I hit my knee and I say, ayo, ada, you know what I'm saying, right? These expressions don't necessarily need to just go through the Webster dictionary. So I think the way we communicate language has to grow and evolve, and I think all languages do this in an informal way. We see young people always inventing new ways of interacting, of expressing themselves, and new words come of that. Every year, Oxford Dictionary adds new words to the dictionary, and that has to be. There's no other way. I don't know if that answers your question, Mohana.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
So thank you. Mohana, any other questions? The feedback form is given to you. Basically, the feedback form also will ensure that you get your e-certificates. Eric, you don't have to fill it. Don't worry about it.
It's a self-assessment this morning on a day when I'm a little more bleary-eyed than I would like to be. My daughter was speaking too much English at 2 o'clock in the morning, and she's only 2 years old, and this is why I have these circles under my eye. So
there is one more question. I think one of the major impediments in the way of easy communication is in English is the influence of the first language. What are your thoughts on this?
Bindu, what a nice question. You know, I hear this a lot from language learners, that, you know, oh, is my accent okay? How's my accent? First, I just want to say accents are a beautiful thing. And every English speaker, a native English speaker, a non-native English speaker, has an accent. And that accent tells a story. And your story of being an ESL learner, an English as a second language learner, is a beautiful one. Learning another language is more than most Americans have ever done, right? So having a first language and learning English is not an impediment. It is something to be embraced. That you have an accent is something also to be embraced. There's no such thing as a proper English accent. There are different dialectical accents, just like in Kerala, right? You have people speak differently in South Kerala than in North Kerala. The people in the center speak really fast, right? I understand. I think all Malayalis speak too fast, really. But no, in all seriousness, the having a first language is not an impediment, but the idea is that, you know, as you're learning a language, you should listen to the way different people speak, and that will help inform your own accent. If you are only learning English from non-native English speakers and you only hear non-native English speakers speak, then it stands to reason that you're going to speak like a non-native English speaker. But I imagine, Bindu, if you were to move to the UK and live there for 20 years, you will start speaking English like a British person. That's what happens. We assimilate the accents of the people that we are around. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. The response from Bindu Ahmad, thank you very much. That is very reassuring.
Thank you.
And one more question from Meghana Menon. Why do you think the English language is much beloved by many people?
I hope it is. I hope it is. I hope it isn't a lot of people saying, oh, why did I have to read these poems in school? I had to memorize these poems, because really language is something to celebrate. It's not something that should give us a headache. Now, I hope it's something that people love, because what's not to love about a language that brings people together, that expresses things? Certainly, as somebody who loves literature myself, I really do find so much of value in reading these things that I mean, I have to have a sense of of love for the language. And every language has its virtues and ways that it expresses things in sounds. Malayalam has this hypnotic rhythm. When I hear it, it is a very nice thing. Malayalam is at the tip of your tongue, and so it has its own cadence and rhythm. In English is a comparatively harsh language. You're speaking in the depth of your throat. Our words are maybe not so beautiful, but it also has its own staccato niceness to it. So I don't know. I hope people like it for the way it expresses things, and I hope they don't not like it because they were made to study it in school a lot. So if that answers your question.
Thank you, Meghna. I hope it was answered, and I think the questions are okay. And thank you, Eric, for the wonderful talk to us.
So it's really my pleasure, Dr. Premanand, and thank you, Father Sunil and Principal Sir, and to the students and the professors at Devagiri St. Joseph's. I really am grateful to you for hosting this, and I'm really excited to see what the day holds. I know Professor Amini has put a lot of work into making great programs for our students, and you guys are just super lucky to be in a community with each other. So thank you very much for having me today. I wish you guys all a blessed day, and God bless you all.
We'll just have the vote of thanks. So the next is the vote of thanks by Jyotsna, second BA Functional English.
Good morning. Feeling gratitude. Sir, can I start?
Yes, please.
Feeling gratitude and not expressing. It is like wrapping a present and not giving it. I'm using this opportunity to give the present of gratitude. On behalf of St. Joseph's College Autonomous Devagiri and Department of Language and Literature, I would like to thank the most recognized guest speaker of the day, Mr. Eric J. Steere, for enlightening our minds and showing us new paths. Respected Principal, Dr. Sabu K. Thomas, respected Director of Self-Financing Programs, Father Sunil M. Anthony, for their insightful words and unflinching support, and our beloved HOD, Dr. Premanand M.E., for being the solid support system that he is. An event of this dimension can't happen overnight and needs meticulous planning and execution and an eye for detail. I want to thank each one of the organizing groups, instructors, staff, and student individuals who contributed to organizing out this webinar. I would like to extend our gratitude to all the members who participated in making this event a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you. And just a little bit more of statistics. We had about 320 respondents registration so far, and please fill up the feedback form. And thank you all for making our day wonderful. Thank you to Eric James, and have a great day. Bye. I'll just be holding on. Eric, bye. I'll just be holding on for the feedback form session. Thank you, Eric. So I'm just holding on for the feedback. Those of you who finished the feedback, thanks once again. And if you have anything else to speak, please do speak. It's open. Our chief guest has left, and you're all free to leave. Thank you again. Thank you, Dr. Tanya Francis. Thank you, Sai Geeta. Thank you, Anne-Marie Chaco. Thank you, Devendu. Thank you, Amrita Nair. Thank you, Meghna Menon. Thank you, Vishnu Priya. Oh, I'm sorry, Vishnu, your question could not be answered. We missed that. Thank you, Bindu Amat. Thank you, Indu Panikar. Thank you, Anuradha PR. Thank you, Arun VS. Thank you, Gopiga. Thank you, Ashwati Prasad.
So we can leave the meeting, right?
Yeah, please. You can. Thank you very much.
ഒരു പരിപാടി നടത്തിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുമ്പോ കാരണം ഒറ്റ
ഇത് കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. And
Premanand, where can we get the submission form?
the submission form has been sent to you in this thing. You didn't get it. I'm sending it once more. You just need to copy that and paste it in another, this one. Did you get it in the chat?
Okay, let me see.
Yeah. Thank you, Mania. The submission form is in the chat. Mohana, did you get it?
Yeah.
You just need to copy that and put it, paste it on another tab, and you can fill it up. Thank you, Anupama. Yeah, you just need to click the link. It goes straight into the tab. Anupama, the forms are given to you, just 2 chats prior to it. Please do fill it up. Hello, Raju Vakchore. The form is put in. Raja Vakchure, welcome. I mean, I saw you before. The forms are given. Please do fill it up. The form is in the chat box. Please do fill it up. Those who have filled it up, thank you very much. You can leave. I'm just waiting for the others to finish. In case they have missed it. Yeah, Arjun, you can leave. Thank you very much.